Hey everybody, this is Chris with Hotspot Metals in Chicago. It's March 6th, and you can tell it's Chicago out there with the sirens. Just another day in the neighborhood for me. Anyway, just thought I'd check in and talk about some updates to the site. Did a few things. Added a technical analysis button on the menu. Removed shopping. I had I had some Amazon ads going, and basically those ads were for safes. I thought, hey, what relates better to precious metals collecting than a home safe? And then I got to show you something. I started doing a little research on it. I really don't want to advertise silly things here, but the safes that were found at Amazon were made by a certain company I won't mention, because one of these guys actually got sued for proving how fast he could open up the safes there. So I'm going to let those kind of speak for themselves. I hope you can hear the audio on this. I'm going to bring in a video.
And then physically pry the lid off of here. Now, I could take the safe, walk up on top of a ladder, and just drop it on the ground and let gravity do the work. But
No, that's one of the small lock fire safes that one of the sillier products that showed up on the shopping site, because basically you could just pick it up and put it under your arm anyway. So I don't really see the point. But this guy uses.
I'm going to use a small flathead screwdriver that I bought today at Walmart for 68 cents.
Okay, got that. A 68-cent screwdriver.
This is not an impact rated or heavy duty screwdriver. This is basically the cheapest of the cheap, and pretty much the same thing you would have in your kitchen junk drawer. So here we go with the timer running. Let's see how long it takes to open it up.
Okay.
Put the end of the screwdriver
in.
The key to unlock the unit. We're going to give it a
4
twist.
seconds.
In a matter of a few seconds, I was able to open
7 seconds. 7 seconds, and he's in. So there's one guy. And then let's move on to the larger safes. Now this guy both these guys have great websites. This is Mr. Locksmith, and he's the one who got sued for multi-million dollars for demonstrating this on TV, and he was able to reproduce it. I think he's going to say he opened it up in 1.6 seconds. Just watch as he puts a high, what do you call it, a high strength magnet on this safe.
So it's locked. You all saw it locked. There's a flaw in the system. It has a nickel piece from China. Not that everything from China is bad.
I hope not.
I put it on there. Oh, now watch it. Not going to open.
Okay. Boom. Okay. So apparently there's some sort of nickel switch or piece in the lock that this, and I'm not going to be able to say it, it's one of these magnets that'll almost kill you if you've got a pacemaker. But he puts it on there and just wiggles the lock a little bit and opens it up. So I don't recommend either of these safes. I think SD Bullion has, they're not one of our sponsors. I'm working on it, but they've got some really high-end safes that look like they would do the job. Otherwise, you have to rely on your own craftiness and things like that to secure your precious metals, or do like I do and go to an outside vaulting company. And I mean, privacy and secrecy is the game here. You don't put your precious metals in the bank in a safety deposit box. I think that there's some regulations you're not supposed to do that, and at the same time, even if you did, they've got armed guards and locks at the door, and you aren't going to be able to get to precious metals probably exactly when you want to. So anyway, when you do look up private vaulting and safe companies, you'll find them on the internet, but they don't advertise their location either. You have to contact them, they'll contact you, and you'll get the details from there. So anyway, that's that. The other thing is you're going to see on the site, I do have some links to Golden State Mint. I'll show you a few things that I buy there, and actually in times like this when we're having a lot of trouble with gold and silver, personally, this is not the time I'm going to go buy a whole lot of bullion. I use these. I think I mentioned before. I buy bullion for larger savings, and then I have a one of each collection. I call it. I like to just pick up one of each. I like a few coins trickling in, a couple a week or whatever. There's so many great designs, so many interesting things out there, and it keeps it fun, keeps it interesting. And I started buying interesting, I call them art coins, because I'm just stunned at the detail and art that they can produce on such a small canvas. This is not Golden State Mint. I mean, but here's a great example. And my son's girlfriend has, I started her on a collection of nautical or marine related, and I don't even know whether you can see this. This is a beautiful, almost proof-like Australian bottlenose dolphin. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. You can look it up. I'm not sure exactly which vendor I got it from, probably APMEX, but it's a beautiful proof-like coin. So what I do when the market is just, things aren't moving, I'm really not playing the market in gold and silver. You buy this stuff to keep it for a long term. And if it goes up, great. If it just holds its value, you can pretty much count on that. And I know there's a lot of people here that like to jump in and say, well, I bought silver at 32 and look at it now. They like, I enjoy some of their posts where they're laughing at everyone who is interested in gold and silver. But one of the things you have to remember is gold and silver don't care what price you bought them at. They really don't. And they don't have a personality, and they don't have vengeance. They simply preserve your wealth in balance and accordance with the U.S. dollar. And if you believe, like I do, that the U.S. dollar is, well, it's not a belief. I mean, you can look at the facts, you can look at the trends. The U.S. dollar has lost its value tremendously over the years, and it's going to continue to, because the only remedy that the government knows of for a slow economy is to print more money, hand more out, try to stimulate more business activity. And I'm not sure, I mean, it's debatable whether that works or not. It worked for the last 8 or 9 years, and I think that's the reason for the long, lonesome depression in precious metals. But I do think we're closer to the end of that than the beginning. Anyway, with the charts looking the way they are, silver at 1505 right now as I speak, it has touched its Fibonacci retracement point, which is, you can believe in charts or not, but these retracements are both psychological and just natural touch points that commodities and stocks tend to gravitate toward. And that's one of the reasons why I also added this analysis tab, which is kind of interesting. What you'll see on this page is just a general summation of technical analysis for both gold and silver. And they're kind of fun little dials that add up all the indicators. We got 14, let's just look at gold for a minute, 14 cells, 5 neutral signals, and 5 buy signals. But if we click here on the word gold, it'll take us to TradingView, where they break down all of the oscillating indicators. This is all stuff that you would have to plot and chart and calculate on your own. But things like the relative strength index, which is actually, you can overlay that on our charts very easily. But relative strength is one of those things that it's more, kind of a momentum indicator, and when it's up above 70, that typically that's a sign that any kind of stock or commodity has been overbought and it's going to correct back down. If it's down below like 30, then it's oversold and it's time for it to come back up. No, it's not a law or anything that says that it has to, but actually the relative strength index right now is neutral, which is in a very good spot. But the rest of the indicators kind of stink. The moving averages are poor. I'm not a 100% believer in technical analysis because, as we know, anything that can happen in the news will affect the fear index that drives gold and silver, precious metals purchasing, economic news, geopolitical events, wars, breaking out, skirmishes. I think part of the boost we saw over the past couple of weeks might have had something to do with India and Pakistan escalating their hostilities over the Kashmir region, and they're very in the Middle East and Far East and all parts of Asia. They're much more tuned into precious metals, and they buy them regularly for not only for holidays and different celebrations, but they buy them also as protection from their own currency ups and downs. Anyway, so that's the new analysis tab. It gives you a little bit more information to go by. With things looking like this right now, I think the risk to the downside is too great for me to buy any big quantities. So back to what I was talking about, I fortify my one-of-a-kind collection, and the nice thing about these, let me just, you can go to Golden State Mint and get a much better view of it, but I mean, just beautiful designs like this. The company itself, let's see, I've got the Freedom Girl, I've got the Don't Tread on Me snake. Everybody in Texas should enjoy that one. Here's one of the queen, not looking so good, kind of a skeletal queen there, but just a unique design. And the thing is that all of these designs that they do, they call these mini mintages because they come out with them every week, and very, very limited mintage. So these are, these will be gone, and they tend to go for pretty high premiums on eBay and places like that. I just like them to have them and keep them. Whenever I buy for my one-of-a-kind collection, I buy 3. I buy one for myself and 2 more, one for each of my sons. And we enjoy having them, and they're fun to bring out and look at and just enjoy. I do think that, these are good prices, but with the chance of them going lower and already having some, I don't think I need to load up right now. But I will buy some of the onesies and twosies. Anyway, so that's the changes to the site. Live charts, of course, getting a whole lot of hits and attention. I think people do like the way I've got it laid out, where you can look at both charts at once. Check out the US dollar heat map. And right now, the dollar down against several major currencies, but up against the euro, which is the largest component of the dollar index. We've got tomorrow on the economic calendar some other things that could make the market move, might make precious metals move. The Challenger layoffs report prior was 52,988. Yeah, 52,998. 52,000 layoffs. It'll be interesting to see if that moves. I'm expecting it to be up a little bit with the auto layoffs, the Tesla layoffs, Dollar Tree closing 390 stores, which they announced today, and the initial jobs claims will also come out in the morning at 7:30 Eastern time, and they are expecting a number of 225,000 initial jobless claims. Let's see if the forecast holds on that as well. Lately, there's just been a deluge of underperforming news and bad news, yet the market seems to be holding its own. That would be the stock market. And I don't know if everybody's explored the watch list on the right side of the live charts, but if you'd like to either overlay or look at what the Dow is doing by comparison to either gold or silver in one of the other charts, you can just click on the US 30 USD watch list item and you can see what's going on here. I saw a very interesting video from a guy I like on YouTube, Monaco64, Monaco 64. He's a former trader. He's in our expert list in our blog, and he's looking at this chart for the S&P and the Dow, where we've got these three big humps here, if you can see where my mouse is. This could be the start or the close to the culmination of what's called a head and shoulders formation. And at the end of this formation, where the right shoulder ends, it tends to drop off quite sharply after that third rise that does not meet the peak. And this is happening both in the S&P and the Dow right now. Another thing that you can do, I'm not sure everybody's aware of on these charts, is that you can come here and click the plus sign, and if I want to watch two things in one screen, I can. Let's overlay gold on top of the Dow. So I just typed in gold there, and now I will switch to the Dow, and you can see how gold is correlating or not with the Dow. Now here the Dow is falling and gold of course went up, and now as it's peaking it's coming back down, but I see that gold is tipping up here at the end. The Dow is still headed down, but gold is starting to level off, which is a very good sign. That's all there is for me tonight. I'm going to sign off, and it was nice chatting with you again. Be sure to stop back at hotspotmetals.com, and if you do decide to check out Golden State Mint, please click on our link. We get a couple bucks if you end up buying something. We get nothing if you don't. But you'll be helping support the channel, and I appreciate that very much. And also, thanks for all the likes and shares on the site. We're up to over 100 followers on the page now, and I am talking to a few suppliers, a few other bullion suppliers, about something that about offering us some special deals with a special coupon code just for our group. And that's part of the power of what I think we should be able to put together here. Let's work toward that 1,000 number, which I think that we have every chance in the world of hitting. And for now, this is Chris with Hotspot Metals signing off. Bye-bye.
it.